Strength training is not all the same. And in this video, I want to talk about two of the very beneficial, very important types of strength training that are important for distance runners and how you can implement them in your training. All right, I know that we said we're going to talk about two types of strength training. That doesn't mean that there are only two types of strength training formats out there for runners, but it does mean that there are two that are the most beneficial. There are some that I'm not going to address in this video, like lifting for hypertrophy or muscle growth. That's just not something that us distance runners typically want in the weight room. Our goal is not muscle growth, it is strength and power. We're also not going to talk about lifting for endurance, even though we are endurance runners. That's a little strange, right? But when we get in the gym, our goal isn't endurance. We get enough of that when we're out there running. Our goal is strength and power. So we're not going to do 3, 4, 5 sets of an exercise with very high reps of, say, 20 or more repetitions. That's going to build a lot of muscular endurance, but it's not what we want. We're also not going to do a whole bunch of HIIT workouts or strength workouts that have a high cardiovascular component to them. Anything that's done in a circuit with very little rest, work that is designed to elevate your heart rate, is not actually the type of strength training that we want to engage in as runners. We get enough of that cardiovascular stimulus when we are doing our run training. And when we're in the gym, again, our goal is strength and power. And if we're prioritizing a metabolic or cardiovascular component to our strength workouts, we're not getting as much strength and power as we want. So those are the types of strength workouts we're not going to address. Let's talk about the two types of strength training sessions that we are going to talk about. Let's talk about lifting in the gym, and let's talk about body weight strength exercises taken from the world of physical therapy. Let's actually start with the body weight exercises, because body weight exercises are most runners' introduction to strength training, and they're best thought of as very similar to your easy running. They form the foundation. You're going to do body weight strength exercises more frequently than you are getting in the gym, and this kind of work is really designed to keep you healthy, to work on the running specific muscles that need a little bit more attention. So if you've ever gone to a physical therapist's office to help yourself rehabilitate an injury, you've probably done a whole bunch of PT exercises like side planks or bridges or hip hikes or many of these other isolation movements that target the hips, the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings, the calves, and these other more running specific muscles. I have a concept called the sandwiching method. It's pretty simple. All you're going to do is sandwich your run in between a dynamic warm-up and a post-run core or strength workout. And in the description of this video, there's a whole bunch of links that you can use for different dynamic warm-up routines, different core and strength routines. You can just plug those into your training. These are 10 to 20 minute routines featuring exercises taken from the world of physical therapy. This kind of work is great at building general strength, at reducing your injury risk, of building some extra coordination, athleticism, and just general strength into your running program. If you have a history of injuries, please use the sandwich method. You're probably going to feel a lot better. You're going to be properly warmed up for your runs. You're going to be getting stronger, and that easier strength workout that comes after your run acts as a really nice cool down. So you're not going from running to being sedentary. You're giving yourself a longer off ramp from that run, using that post-run strength workout because it's not super challenging as a cool down. You're going to expand your range of motion, move in a variety of movement patterns that are different from the running movement. And that's just going to help you feel better over the course of the day. You know, I'm not that big into supplements, but I do love AG1 by Athletic Greens. I consider it my nutrition insurance, helping me cover all my bases, so I know I'm not missing out on anything my body needs, especially when I'm training really hard. I try to eat really well, but of course, AG1 is that extra security that gives me peace of mind over my diet. 1 scoop per day, and I'm getting 75 vitamins and minerals, prebiotics, probiotics, antioxidants, and adaptogens. You can try it out too at athleticgreens.com/Jason, and they're going to throw in a free year's worth supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. Check it out at athleticgreens.com/Jason. So once you've started doing some bodyweight exercises, you've gotten comfortable doing planks and push-ups and bridges, side planks, all these different types of exercises that are going to help you improve your form, gain a little strength, and really prevent your next big injury. The next step is to get into the gym for some more traditional weightlifting. Here's where you want to focus on the basics, the fundamentals: squats, deadlifts, presses, bench presses, and all of the variations of those exercises. Now, the key here is to try to lift relatively heavy weight while at the same time being more conservative. Because look, at the end of the day, we're not weightlifters, we're runners. The amount of weight that we're lifting is not as important as putting your body under load and practicing these movements. In fact, a strength coach I used to work with described weightlifting as coordination training under resistance. So don't worry if you're not setting world records in the weight room. You don't have to. Let's just practice these movements and make sure that we're gradually challenging ourselves to a little bit more weight every couple weeks so that we can progress our strength and our power. Now, the other thing about our gym work is that we don't want to do it after all of our runs. The sandwiching method is really great for every run that we go on. But if you're going to get in the gym and lift heavy weight, we don't need to do that every day. We don't even need to do that 3 or 4 times a week. 2 gym sessions a week for, roughly 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the workout and where you are in the season, is a really good compromise. It's going to give you all of the benefits that we're looking for, while at the same time, not giving you so much soreness and fatigue that it's negatively impacting your run training, which ultimately is more important. Now, I personally think that strength training is so important to runners, I don't even consider it cross-training. It's just part of the training process that we have to do as runners if we want to stay healthy and if we want to potentially express our potential as runners. So if you haven't started yet, get started with sandwiching your runs between that dynamic warm-up and that post-run core or strength workout. There's a lot of ideas underneath this video that you can check out. They are free, just plug them right into your training. Now, if you have been doing bodyweight exercises, you've been pretty consistent with doing something several times per week, you're probably ready for the next step, which is getting in the gym and lifting weights. Now, this video is not going to tell you the exact weightlifting program to use. That's sort of outside the scope of a simple YouTube video, but you can go to strengthrunning.com/strength and learn a lot more about why we're doing these gym workouts, how long they should be, and what exercises work best. Plus, how you can actually incorporate more power training into these workouts, which is not something we address specifically. It's partly about plyometrics, it's partly about explosive movements, but it's also about being intentional with the way that you lift. I also want to talk about some classic, very common mistakes that we see runners make in the weight room, because I don't want you to make those mistakes too. So if you haven't gotten started yet, go to strengthrunning.com/strength. We're going to go over all these things. I'm going to give you case studies of other successful runners like you who have successfully implemented strength training in their program, because I personally think strength training is a game changer. Whether you are an injury-prone runner who is constantly getting hurt, you can't finish your season, or you might be a master's runner like myself, you know that weightlifting is going to be that crucial ingredient in your training to get more out of yourself and also slow down that aging process. So no matter what kind of strength training you're doing, I hope this video was helpful to wrap your head around and conceptualize the type of strength training that is most helpful for runners and when to do it.